I want to get to an important subject to you. You lead the White House anti-drug effort. You were with the President and the First Lady doing an event on opioids in Atlanta this week. I applaud the President's effort to try and combat the scourge of opioid addiction. What about this? Why not reclassify pot? Why not try and get over the divide that exists between a certain number of states and federal law and make it easier for the opioid addicted to have access to medical marijuana as an alternative? Will he champion that effort?
Well, let me say this about today. Today is National Take Back Day, and you and I would both be remiss if we didn't allow a little public service announcement here. National Take Back Day means that you can take your unused, unneeded, expired pills, prescription medication, Michael, to police stations, community centers, hospitals. There are 5,500 locations that have been identified by Google, who's mapped them out. If you type into the search bar, return my medication or unused pills, Google will provide a number of locations. This is just a brilliant service that they're providing Americans.
But what about
because
pot?
It literally will save lives. Well, I want to say something to you. Because of this president's leadership and because of H.R. 6, which was overwhelmingly bipartisan when it passed and was signed into law last year, an 64% increase in Americans who are on medication-assisted treatment. We have more teens that are getting treatment than they did previously. This is important because the president has allowed the states to free up their Medicaid dollars to pay for the medication-assisted treatment. There are many therapies out there that don't involve marijuana, and I think you want to have a whole marijuana debate here under the guise of opioids, and we would be remiss since I think, frankly, respectfully, the media doesn't like to cover this issue. The regional media does, local media. We got a ton of regional local media coverage that day, really more
That's
than
not
we
true.
have
I talk about opioids here on a regular basis and constantly in my radio show.
I'm just saying that
it's time to end the divide.
I appreciate it. Last week,
the federal law is out of touch.
You actually said, well, the federal law will be discussed over time, but not every state agrees with you. And let's just make clear, too, that for all the folks who talk about the benefits and the legality of marijuana, there are many health professionals and employers increasingly concerned that this is not your grandfather or your father's marijuana. The TCH components are much stronger.
Understood.
And you hear increasingly from employers that people are failing their drug tests because they're abusing prescription opioids, and that they're chronically using marijuana. So we just can't say it's all good for all people at this moment. We're very concerned about the effect on the brain among young people whose brains don't fully form until later in life. Anyway, I'll come back on another day for that, but today, that tiny little bottle, Michael, is tricky because it's legally prescribed to help you with temporary pain. But if you no longer need it, or if it's just sitting around, or it's sitting around in grandmom's medicine cabinet or dad's gym bag, get rid of it today. You will absolutely save a life.
Today's
if there's the name of the family doctor and the local pharmacy, get rid of it.
Come back and thank you.
But can I say something else? The President and the First Lady have tackled this as a signature issue. And they went through not promises and platitudes on Wednesday at the RX Summit in Atlanta. They went through a progress report. And I'm very happy to leave you with this, that H.R. 6 passed with every single Democratic vote in the House and the Senate, including every Democrat in the House and Senate who's currently running for president. It's a great message of unity. It's a great example of working together for the greater good of Americans.
Thank you, Kellyanne. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.